All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to go through our daily Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update. I also want to talk about the market a little bit. So for those of you new to the channel, we talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners all the time. So remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button. The hurricane took me out of commission for a couple of days, so I went a few days without posting. So I'm hoping if we get some likes on this video, that it will help me get back in the algorithm. So I just want to get this video out to more people. I appreciate everybody's help. Ordinarily, we would be doing a live stream shortly, but I'm on limited internet access also due to the hurricane. So I'm doing my daily Bitcoin update instead. So I want to start out by just looking at what the markets did today, and then I'm going to go to the Bitcoin miners, and then I want to look at Bitcoin because something very, very interesting is happening. I think it's worth taking a deep look at, and hopefully it's a sign of things to come. Okay, so right now, the S&P 500 is down 0.97, so almost 1%. The Dow's down 1.24%. The NASDAQ is down 0.9%. We're pretty much down 1%, give or take, across the board on the major indexes in the United States. With that in mind, I want to go to the Bitcoin miner big board and see how the Bitcoin miners did today. Okay, so if you look at this board, you're going to see at the moment there's just a bunch of green and a bunch of red. Nothing too drastic in either directions. This was very green all morning, so it was straight across the board from top to the bottom, green, pretty much for the first half of the day today. Then we kind of had our Friday afternoon slide, and you can see the markets all went into the red, and the markets acted the same way. The markets were up in the morning, down Friday afternoon, so that is nothing new, but you can see fairly decent activity for the Bitcoin miners. The only thing having a little bit of an outsized day is Iris Energy, stock ticker IREN, right now is up 6%. It's been up all day today. It's been holding strong. It was green yesterday as well a little bit, so that one seems to be building back some momentum after it had a big drop off. Marathon's up 1.1%, Riot's down 0.8%, so both very close to zero. Core Scientific is up 0.38%, but Core Scientific was down big time yesterday. So Core Scientific has not at all kept up with Marathon and Riot, and it continues to lose ground to those two companies. Marathon, Riot, and Hut have really maintained their value the best over the last 3 months by far. Nothing necessarily to write home about. So it's not so much the Bitcoin miners that caught my attention today, it's Bitcoin. I think that Bitcoin is having some strength this week that's going a little bit unnoticed. So I want to go to the Bitcoin charts and then show you a few other charts that I made to talk about why I think, we still could be getting, I know you guys are probably sick of hearing this, but I still feel like this minor relief rally is on the way. So it's been sidetracked ever since the CPI data came out, which is now, a week and a half ago. So I'm 10 days into missing the timing on this, but I do still think it's sitting there with the potential to happen, maybe starting today and maybe going into the weekend. But let's take a look at the Bitcoin charts and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, the first chart is Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame. So you'll see, as always, we have an orange line where Bitcoin was when the market closed yesterday. Bitcoin was at around 19,400. So you can see we've spent almost the next 24 hours above this line. We did dip below it for just a little bit right here overnight and early into the morning. But right as the markets opened in the US, we got back above that point and we spent the rest of the day up on the day. So Bitcoin is actually up on the day. If I go from where Bitcoin's trading right now to where it was when the market closed yesterday, we're up relative to that 1.76%. So Bitcoin is having an up day, while we just looked at all the indexes, which are having basically a down 1% day. So I'm going to dig more into this because this is what I'm talking about. There's a little bit of strength being shown here that is not obvious. Bitcoin's not raging and the Bitcoin miners are not skyrocketing, but there's some strength, a base that I think is being built that we're going to see. Okay, I want to jump out to the 4-hour time frame because this starts to make it a little more obvious. You'll see this bright yellow line. This is the lowest Bitcoin has closed. So the lowest Bitcoin got was in June of 2022, so that was almost 4 months ago now, and that got down to around 17,600, but we did not close a daily candle at that. Even that day, we closed at about 18,900, and we've really kind of had two levels. We spent several days, almost a week, right here just under 19,000, at or around 19,000, and then we had some massive volatility for a day and a half, but when all that was done and when the dust settled, we were up here more towards, 19,300 or 19,400. So you can see today we've even taken a leg up from that. We're now at 19,700-ish. So we did get above that once a few days ago. So there was some volatility, but this tends to be a little bit more consistent. So we built a nice base around here for a few days, had some major volatility, and now it seems like we're building a nice base here. The next step would be, this pink line goes back to the 2017 high from the previous bull cycle. So that in the past has has always held. Well, as you can see, obviously, we broke through that this time, and we've been below that for months and months and months. However, we are on the verge. The last 4-hour candle did candle wick above that, and we are very, very close to that right now. So if we can reestablish this as support potentially over the weekend, that's what I'm hoping for, and that's where I think we could potentially see. Again, I'm not looking for a reversal and a long-term bull market. I'm just waiting for this relief rally that doesn't seem to be happening. But in the meantime, having said that, we're clearly not crashing. This is definitely the definition of consolidation. We've been going sideways for quite some time in Bitcoin, and that can be very healthy signs. So oftentimes a nice relief rally or bull run is preceded by a period of consolidation. So I'm hoping that's what we're in right now. I want to look at just a couple of indicators. So if I look at the 4-hour RSI, you'll see back in that period I was talking about where we were in the $18,900 range, you can see this is 50 on the daily RSI. 50 is considered neutral. So you can see we were kind of bouncing off of that as resistance. And then again, we went through this period of volatility, and now it looks like we've maybe established that as a line of support. So if that can hold, then there's the potential that we run back up here maybe to 70, or we could really even on the 4-hour get to 75 or 80 on the RSI. The other thing to take note of is we have had a bullish crossover on the 4-hour time frame. Now, we've had some mass confusion as well. Like I said, there was a lot of volatility right here. So this has been crisscrossing. It's been very neutral for the last several days. Hard to really make a call from this, but right now, for the first time, it looks like we're getting a little bit of momentum. We've got a bunch of green candles a row here on the histogram. We're starting to get a little bit bigger. This is all still very, very small green candles, so not a lot of momentum building, but we're still sitting on the proper side of the bullish crossover. So again, this is giving us some potential to maybe run up from here. Way back on June 18th, we hit our all-time low. We flash crashed down to around 17.5 or 17.6. We have not been near that since. We did have a massive 2-month run all the way up to 25,000. So that was a very, very strong relief rally. We pulled way back. We had a quick burst of a relief rally for about a week. And then we pulled back and retested our lows as far as the daily candle closes go. For Bitcoin, good things happen over 50 on the daily RSI. So that is critically important. Really, all these runs up to 50 are just testing resistance, and when we fail at 50, then you'll see we don't get a run at all. But once we break above 50 and start to get some momentum between 50 and 60 and 70, we can get very nice relief rallies. So again, we've got a bunch of momentum going up towards 50, but we're not at 50 yet. So we have no confirmation here. What I'd like to see is for this to jump above 50 and then maybe retest 50 and bounce off of it and start heading upward so that we can see that maybe we're going to have a 1 or 2 or 3 week run up in the right direction. Obviously, if the opposite happens, if we get rejected at 50 and start heading downward again, then we probably need to reset ourselves. However, I would look for more of this sideways action because, again, we've been consolidating for weeks here. So I think there's a lot of strength that Bitcoin is showing. The last thing I'll show you is 3 days ago, we did have a bullish crossover on the daily RSI. So we've been building just a little bit of momentum here as well. Too soon to confirm, but we've got a lot of things that look like they're back on the brink of confirming maybe a nice little relief rally. So obviously we're going to have to stay tuned. This weekend is going to be critical. So those are the things I'm going to be looking for. Can we get over 50 and start to make a run on the daily RSI? And can we start getting some momentum on the histogram and start printing larger green candles? In addition to that, I want to show you something, Bitcoin versus the indexes. Bitcoin's up about 4.7% over the last 10 days. Conversely, I have 3 other lines on here. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. These are the Qs, which is the NASDAQ, and this is the SPY, the SPY, which is the S&P 500. So these are the 3 major indices, and you'll see that each of these is down somewhere between 5.5% and 6% in that same time frame. So you can see over a 10-day window here, and that's starting to be a considerable amount of time. Bitcoin's consistently now performed about 10% better than all 3 of the major indexes in the US. So that has not typically happened, particularly the Qs. The NASDAQ we have been very tightly associated with, but the last 10 ways, the 2 have gone their own separate way for now. Now, this is not the first time that's ever happened, and 10 days is not long enough to say that we've got a divergence here and they're no longer correlated. But it is a very strong signal that Bitcoin at the moment is strong, and this is another super strong indicator to me that we are ready for at least a relief rally in Bitcoin. And again, I know I've been calling for this for a week and a half, and I'm definitely late at best, but I still think it looks like it's going that way. In general, as you can see with the indexes, the market overall is extremely, extremely negative. Market sentiment is extremely negative, so we do have to be careful of all that, but I do think inside of that, without any new news, there's a little chance for a little bit of a run-up in Bitcoin. So that's what I'm looking for, but again, we got to pay close attention and see, on that daily RSI, can we get over 50 and start making a run, or do we get rejected and, do these? So over the weekend, we're going to get a chance to see which direction we're moving in. I will definitely do another Bitcoin update over the weekend and see how this is progressing. Next week, we will get back to our regular schedule. So next Friday, we will have our live stream. Next Tuesday, we will have our live stream for members only. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend, and then we will see you in the next video.